Yes, little telling it like it is on a little bit of a hiatus, dealing with 47 teams in a summer league. So I had to take the last month off dealing with that, but we're almost over with summer league. Tomorrow's Championship Tuesday. Dave Scholler here telling like it is, a little NFL over-unders here on a rainy Monday in New York, August 7th. Doing this one from the dining room here. Casa de Scholler. Looking forward to the NFL season getting started against my Oakland A's, obviously. Although I still really enjoy watching them every day. I guess I knew we'd be bad, and we have so many good young players. It's just that it's like a shuttle back and forth to our triple and double A affiliates. It's still been a mess with the stadium and still no definite answers, but NFL over-unders. I was struck by the over-unders because I can't believe how it the world has become as far as, people, having opinions and things. So the lowest projection here is a 5.5 on the lowest side, and the highest is an 11.5 on the highest side. That would be like the Chiefs and the Bengals, for example. So you're telling me that you don't have faith that one team in the NFL will have 12 wins and one team in the NFL won't have 5 or less. And like I just said, 12 or more, 5 or less. Well, great prognostications here from people. It's just goes with the gutless. If you have an opinion, people rule you as crazy. But no, that's called successful people. Successful people aren't wishy-washy people. They never are, and they never have been, and they never will be. But that's a story for another day. Here in New York, it's really tough because the Mets have just sold off the team and given away 6 games in a row. Yankee fans, of course, are spoiled rotten. This team is 4 games over 500, missing half their team. About 60% of their pitching staff for almost the whole season. Best player in baseball last year for about 30, 40 games, but still 4 games over. I know that's not enough for a Yankee fan, but then again, they got to just wake up. If they could ever get in, they'd be really dangerous because the depth of their bullpen is just phenomenal. I thought they should have picked up a bat at the deadline. They didn't. So you can get on them for that if you want, but, that's Cashman's deal. But anyway, this is an NFL show, so New York fans here are really looking forward to the NFL season. The Jet fans talking about, all the love of Aaron Rodgers. And for me, it's great because he's not in the Vikings division. And for me, by the way, Viking shirt on today, Viking shades. For me, it's amazing because we've had Favre and Rodgers now for 31 years, and I don't have to deal with them ever again. Straight as quarterbacks, no transition, no nothing. It's like the Colts when they went to go to Luck from Manning. Of course, Luck is retired now. But for 31 years, we've had great quarterbacking, and I'm just really excited to have a normal mortal in the division at quarterback, which I think will give us a great opportunity this year to win a division. But again, let's just start with some of the over-unders here. Here on Telling Like It Is. The first team is the Bills. I think the Bills missed that championship window. These are Vegas odds on them, by the way. I'm not promoting gambling, but 10.5 wins is their prediction. I think that's a little high, being that the AFC is so deep. By the way, again, the AFC this year, much, much stronger on paper than the NFC as far as the depth and the quality of quarterback in the league. So we'll address that and how that affects people later. But also the AFC East has just a very tough schedule. They play the AFC West 4 games. They play the NFC East 4 games, which is the best division in the NFC. So I don't see any of these AFC teams really getting off to great starts. They also play one versus the NFC South. They play the North and the South, and the NFC, one each based on their finish. So the AFC East teams here that we're going to talk about, just their atrociously tough schedule. Like I said, playing the AFC West, which is loaded, and the NFC East, which is the best division in the NFC, which will make, hopefully, Jets and Giant fans understand how tough their schedules are, which we'll get to later when we get to our division breakdowns, which will start this week. So here on Telling Like It Is. So let's look at these. Josh Allen's injuries keep forming up. Diggs is never happy. As a former Viking fan, I know that. Can't stand Diggs, so I'm so happy to get rid of that bastard. I just can't stand him. To me, if you're going to bitch all the time, then you better be Jerry Rice, and he's not. I noticed Jerry Rice never said a word. So I'm not really happy about that. The defense of the Bills, I just think, great fan base, obviously, but I think their days are numbered. Why the Dolphins are as rated as 9.5, I have no idea. You don't know the health of your quarterback, and you might have a nice team, and we'll see what happens with my man Cook, who should go back to the Vikings if his pride wasn't hurt. But these NFL guys and athletes today, it's more about your brand than actually winning, which is a problem. But we'd love to have Cook back, but at the right price. So that's going to be difficult. The Jets at 9.5. I think the Jets will go over 9.5. Like I said, their schedule is really, really rough. But I think they'll be tough. Aaron Rodgers obviously is going to be a big help. I think that Sal's going to do a good job. Defense was pretty good, but the rest of that team was pretty solid. Charlie's now stepped into the booth here. I don't know what he's doing. Charlie's now in the booth, and Rosie is out of the booth. But we'll see. Yeah, so we're just saying Aaron Rodgers, I think, will do a fine job. The Jet defense was pretty solid. I think it should be a pretty good team. For the Jet fans' sake, I hope it is. It should be a fun season for the Jets. It was funny. You're on these. I follow these sports groups online because I try to keep up with how the fans think and hopefully makes the show better. But it's funny, Jet fans will be Jet fans. This team's 0-1. You can just hear Joe Benigno now. Yo, bro, must-win situation, bro. 0-1. Come on. Can we get a win? Oh, the pain. You can just hear it now, and the Jet fans will follow, line and sinker, hook, line, and sinker, and they'll be 0-1. There'll be so much pressure on 0-2, and players from outside New York just don't understand what it's like here. It turns in this is not a one town. This is not a one media, one media radio station or newspaper town. It's just not like that. It can get brutal in a hurry. New England Patriots predicted to not be too good. 7.5 wins is their number. O'Brien should be a welcome sight at offensive coordinator, but they lost out on Hopkins, so I don't think that's going to be good. And like I said, these AFC East teams have it tough. They got to play the AFC West and the NFC East. It's just going to be rough. Go to the AFC North, Bengals 11.5. That offensive line, my man Billy here, big time Bengal fan. My man Chick, big Bengal fan, but it's going to be tough. Offensive line, that division is a very good division. The Ravens are going to be much improved. Lamar's going to be back and reinvigorated. He got some weapons around him. He's got his new deal. He's going to be motivated. They're coming in at 9.5. We'll see what they do. Is hopefully Dobbins is a little bit more healthy. They just signed Beckham and Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews, formidable pass catching core. Browns at 8.5. Browns easy. Well, actually, not easy. Tough team to figure this year. The AFC North, by the way, plays 4 against the AFC South, so that might save these guys in such a tough conference. They play 4 against the NFC West, which besides the Niners is going to be Cupcake City. They do play 1 against the NFC North, and then they do play the West and the East in their own conference in the qualifying finishing round. So second place plays second place, third place plays third place, etc. So I think that the schedule here, the Browns are going to be interesting. Deshaun Watson, I'm rooting for him. Hopefully when he comes back, he's up to speed. I think that the division, like I said, is rough. I think these are 4 divisions that are definitely divisions that should be over teams that all have a chance to be over 500. It's one of those deep divisions. So this should be fun for the Brown fans. Steelers, that Pickett's going to be twice as good this year. Have a whole year camp. 8.5. TJ Watt's got to be healthy. All right. Micah Fitzpatrick is going to be better than average. Minkah Fitzpatrick, I should say, better than average. Plus, you got Mike Tomlin, as always, stabilizes the ship. Again, that AFC South 4 games could save this division. That could be a life raft to this division since there is really nobody that good in that AFC South. The Jags will be tough, but still some good wins there. And although the Texans did play everybody tough last year for the most part early on in the season, still say on paper that division is pretty weak. When you shake down here, as we move on down and we go over to the AFC South, we do get the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to be tough. Obviously, Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence at quarterback should be very difficult to handle this year. We'll see how they do. 9.5 is their win total prediction. Again, their division could save them. Although, like I said, Tennessee Titans could still ball control you and make things difficult with the stud running back. And Tannehill hopefully has a bounce back year. We'll see what he's up to. This division is going to be a little bit of a mess. We'll see how it goes. I mean, Jacksonville's getting a lot of hype, and the AFC South does play the AFC North for 4 games. That's going to be the death of them. They do play the NFC South for 4 games, which could be the savior to them. It's a life raft because the NFC South is really, really bad. Probably the worst division in football. We'll talk about that on the division shows that we're going to cover. They do play the NFC West for 1 game, and then they play the East and the West with equal finishers to themselves in the AFC South. Houston Texans down at 5.5, one of the lower teams prediction-wise here. Rookie CJ Stroud could be a quarterback. I really like Stroud a lot, but we'll see how rookies can be made to look mortal. So we will see what happens, whether it's Davis Mills or rookie QB Stroud at quarterback for the Texans. I always root for the Texans. Love the logo. Love the team. I'll be rooting for them. AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs, 11.5, tied with the Bengals for the highest win total predictions. As long as you have Mahomes, you have a shot. I thought they were vulnerable last year, but they still got through and won another Super Bowl. I think, when you have Kelsey and people of that nature, you can still find a way to get to 11.5, puts 12 wins. All these predictions are great, but at the same time, it's all about the health when you're talking about football. So let's go down to the Chargers. Chargers have a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. Kind of weird that such a successful team got Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. So a little bit of pressure on them this year. If they don't get it done, coach will be out. Kellen Moore does come over from offensive coordinator from Dallas. But, the guidance, Brandon Staley's going to be under a lot of pressure, a lot of questionable decisions last year early in games. So he's going to have to figure it out. Broncos is going to be a wild card this year as far as, what they have to deal with. They play the AFC East 4 times. So the AFC West teams here have their hands full. And they do play the NFC North 4 times, which is not going to be a terrible division. So it's going to be interesting. Then they do play the South and the North in the AFC and the same amount of place finishers, the equidistant place finishers, I'll say. And they do play 1 against the NFC East. So this is going to be fun to watch. Broncos with Peyton's going to be very creative with Russell Wilson. They did get some good pass catching. People on the team, they got to get some good defense. Raiders, Jimmy G at quarterback. We'll see if Josh McDaniels' last stand, he doesn't get it done here, he's going to be out. This will be his last coaching gig. He already had one with the Broncos. He had one with the Raiders. This will be, I thought he got let go a little bit too quick with the Broncos, but at the same time, you're not going to get a third chance here. Jimmy G hopefully is steady enough to help save the Raiders' bacon. They're predicted a little high. I don't think they're going to get to 7.5. Like I said, they're going to have it tough at that AFC East and AFC North. Those are 8 tough games there. So I don't see the Raiders getting to 7.5. I'll go under on that one. So those would be the teams in the AFC. If you look at the teams in the NFC, the schedule is a division conference, I should say, with a lot less talent than the previous conference we just talked about. AFC, I feel like, is a lot more loaded. If you look, it's just a much, much better league. Let's flip over to that here in the NFC. So when we go to the NFC East plays 4 against the NFC West, which is not bad. The NFC West has 1 good team. They do play really tough games against the AFC East, which is a tough division. The NFC East is the best division in the NFC. It's not a doubt. Even though I'm a North guy, this is the best division. It's not even close. Even the Deadskins, that's right, I said Deadskins or Redskins, not the Commanders or wherever else we're going to call them now. The NFC East is a good division. I still think the Eagles are the cream of the crop. Of course, all these things are subjected to health. Obviously, they lose the coordinator. They lose a great coordinator to the Colts, who's going to be a head coach now. But Jalen Hurts got a big deal. I love Jalen Hurts. He's a winner. He's what enough scouts don't look at. He's a guy that won everywhere he went in college. They tell you he's too small. His ball isn't thrown pretty. He just wins. So I like winners. So I think they're going to be tough. The Cowboys, I think, are a little high at 9.5. Dak is regressed a little bit. I know they got some great playmakers on both sides of the ball, but I don't know. We'll see if Pollard is still going to be able to carry the load there. I think the Giants are going to be better than the Cowboys. So even though the Giants are only predicted at 8.5, I would say to Giant fans, though, be careful because you are going to play a rougher schedule this year, and the NFC East schedule is brutal. I believe 7 of the first 11 games for the Giants are on the road. And you say, well, that's great. No, it isn't, because if you get off to like a 4-7 start, it could derail your whole season. 4-7 is not going to cut it. So even though you might be able to finish strong, sometimes by 4-7, you've dug yourself too big a hole. You don't want to go through that. So their schedule is just brutal. NFC East is a tough division. Like I said, the Deadskins, Commanders, whatever you want to call them, their defense is good. They let go of Heineke and Wentz. They went their separate ways. Can probably be relying on second-year quarterback Sam Howell. This is one of those situations where you just don't know what you're going to get. The enemy is the offensive coordinator in Washington. What I'm hoping happens is he does a good job there, and then he takes the head coaching job for the Commanders, and I can see them doing that. The enemy's a guy that's been passed over for head coaching jobs, and hopefully he gets this opportunity. When you go down to the NFC North, I think the Lions are getting way too much hype. The Lions are going to be a good team. I love Dan Campbell. I love everything he's about, but they're still the Lions. They're predicted 9.5 wins. That's way high. I think this team is 8-9 or 9-8 or maybe 7-10 is that 3-thing window. NFC North teams, we're saved by one thing. We do play the NFC South. Bad news is we play the AFC West, and that's going to be rough. So we have to rely and take advantage of these NFC South games and try to get to 4-0 in those games, because the division is going to be chock full of goodies. We're all flawed teams in this division. So that's going to be tough. The AFC West, if you could find a way to scrape out 1 or 2 versus them, I think you could be successful. I think the Vikings, even though I'm a Viking fan, I'm not a homer. I didn't think they'd win the division last year, but this year I do think they're going to win the division. We did lose a ton on defense. We lost Kendricks. We did sign Hunter to too much money. We did lose Adam Thielen. I'm not happy about that. Cook is still out there, so I'm not happy about that. Our defensive coordinator last year was the worst coordinator, I think, in the history of football. He played a soft cover 2, and the middle of the field was open the whole day. This year, very excited by our new coordinator, former Dolphins coach who got hosed. Really looking excited for that. I think even though we have a lot less talent on defense this year, I think the schemes are going to be much more exciting. I just cannot wait for the new defensive coordinator. And like I said, even though we'll have less talent, I think Cousins to Jefferson, Madison, tight end Hawkinson, I still think we're going to be all right. Our schedule is pretty rough because we do have a first place schedule. So I think we're going to be a 10-7 team and maybe win that division. Bears, I think, are the wild card here, because the Bears, I think, are coming in a little underrated, predicted at 7.5. You got to love Fields. They did get him some good wide receivers around him. They just got to get they got to get their defense back, because the defense is not the typical Bears defense we've seen over the years. But the real crazy team to watch this year is the Packers. How much fun is it going to be to watch the Packers? See what Jordan Love is doing. Okay, we'll see how he is. And like I said, I'm just so excited for the first time in 31 years not to have an immortal behind center. So I'm hoping that helps us out a little bit. It's going to take a major step back, but I hate to say it, coach is an excellent coach. He does a great job. This guy is going to come out of there again, and he's taking this personally. He'll never say it because he still has to be able to attract free agents and people like that. But he is so relieved that Aaron Rodgers is gone. Now, we hope that he's not one of those control freaks that is happy that Aaron Rodgers is gone because someone challenged him. And you know that Rodgers must have challenged his play calling, challenged his beliefs and philosophies, which is what a good relationship is. Phil Simms and Bill Parcells didn't get along great either. But this guy is going to want to prove to the end of the earth that he's the boss, and he is the boss, but he's also going to prove the end of the earth that he can win without him. And they're going to be a run first team. They have good running backs. They did lose some good players, but they're going to be fun to watch. They're 7.5. Like I said, this division could be decided by 1 game, and all 4 teams could be within 2 games. And it's really going to come down to who takes care of that weak NFC South schedule. That's what it's going to come down to. This is the oldest division, perhaps in the NFC, as far as these 4 teams have just had pure hate for each other. Over the years, it hasn't really changed much. We had Tampa in there in the beginning of their franchise. Now they're out. This is going to be a division that is going to be decided by those NFC South wins. Who handles those the best? Because in this division, you're going to go 4-2, 5-1 tops in your division record. NFC South, definitely an atrocious division. They got to play the North, the AFC South. So the South playing the South is going to help them a little bit. Might be some wins in there. Saints are predicted at 9.5. I think that's way too high. I just don't see how Derek Carr is going to fit right in there. Lose some weapons. Falcons predicted at 8. I think that's way too high. I don't see how the Falcons are going to be that good at all. But hey, whatever. People are excited about the Falcons. I'm not seeing it. I don't think they get into 8 wins. But then again, they did have a decent finish to the season last year. Carolina Panthers is an interesting team. You got Bryce Young playing quarterback. We're all rooting for Bryce. Carolina had some surprisingly good finish last year. They definitely. Frank Reich is his last stop too. It's time to win. This guy's had like 5 different quarterbacks in 5 years. It's time for Frank to grow a quarterback and see what he could do. And Bryce Young could be that guy. Maybe he won't start out the season at quarterback. We'll see. Maybe get him some easy completions right away. And I think that the Panthers could be better than people think. The Bucks with Baker Mayfield, with Baker, they're always dangerous. Just never know what he's going to do. He's like plays with his hair on fire. But with Baker, we'll have to see how it works. I don't think that the NFC South is going to be a big factor. Again, how they handle the AFC South will determine their wins. NFC West is a one-team division. The Niners are going to win this division walking away. They're 11.5, tied with the Bengals and the Chiefs, or the Chefs, as many you want to say. You know that whether it be Purdy or Trey Lance. If it's Trey Lance, I don't think it's going to be nearly as good. I think it better be Brock Purdy. Lance is just not as good. You can say what you want. He was awful last year in the rain in the first game. Brock Purdy came in and bailed out that season. We'll see what they do with the Niners. Really looking forward to that. Niners football is going to always be exciting. I think that the front office and the coaching staff always on the same page, and that makes a big difference in that organization. The Seahawks, we'll see if Geno's for real or not. Geno had a great year last year. They're predicted at 8.5, but now they're going to have a tougher schedule. So I think their number might go down a little bit. I could see them falling off a little bit. Cardinals are predicted at 5.5. Kyler Murray is out for a while, so that's going to be tough. They lost DeAndre Hopkins. This could be one of the worst teams. This is one of the bottom feeders as far as 5.5 as a prediction. Rams are 7.5. I think that they'll be okay. Stafford is there. Cooper Kupp and members of offensive and defensive lines. All right. So we got to see if they can stay healthy. Last year, this team just got really crushed by the injuries. And we'll see if Stafford and Kupp can get some magic. They got to get a run game. And McCarthy's got to, not McCarthy. He's got to get his team going and see what he can do, because you know what? The beauty and love of the Rams Super Bowl will wear off with another crap season. So we'll see if McVay can get it done here, and we'll go from there. So again, it should be exciting. Dave Scholler here telling like it is, just doing a little over-unders. So some of the numbers seem a little bit high. Again, I was a little disappointed that they're not really officially willing to go out and say that someone's going to win at least 12 games and someone's going to at least lose 5 or less games, win at least 5 or less, or win 12 or more. I mean, come on, somebody's guaranteed you're going to get at least 1 or 2 teams that win more than 12 or more games this year. And you're going to get 1 or 2 teams that win 5 or less games this year. So the gutless nature of the picks. And like I said, here in New York, people are really excited about it. Jet fans really, really pumped up. Giant fans pumped up. And we'll have to see how we do. But again, this is Dave Scholler on Telling Like It Is. And we'll start our division shows this week. We go worst to first as far as the divisions go. See us on Spotify. Okay, you can see us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, iHeartRadio. All good. Take care.